Happy Monday to all. Hope all is well. I am giving face for the first few seconds, literally giving face for this section of it because this today will be a Valley View Blue edition for you. We're going to start off with 117 Psalms. Oh, praise the Lord, O ye nations, praise him, all ye people. For his merciful kindness is great toward us, and the truth of the Lord endureth forever. Praise ye the Lord. All right, short and sweet, just like me. Let's go. Good morning, good morning. So, as I mentioned earlier, this will be a Valley View edition. I've been taking notes. All right. I've been taking notes. Good morning from the next card. This loss is Valley View Blue. And today I thought I'd wear my Super Saiyan shirt, because let's just say this weekend was super as far as gathering information and resources. Good morning to all, right? I like my character Valley View Blue because it allows me to feel more on the international realm with you all. Since, a lot of people don't like to hear the original person give the opinions, because I know that person can't possibly have that type of information or know something like that or come up with things like that. So I have to make myself quite unfamiliar so that you can accept what I'm saying. If you get what I'm saying, people love a character. Yes, they do. So hello, this is Valley View Blue, and I've been writing notes. And over the weekend, the red pillars, oh gosh, the red pillars took a big hit to the ego now, didn't they? This guy, Andrew Wilson. It was wonderful. Let me wet the whistle for this one because this will be mouth drying, being as though he was right until he was wrong. Now, wasn't it? I see that one person jumped off and jump on. Go get your other cards and come back and join me because this will be a nice morning. We're going to get into some tarot, but I have to do my due diligence in today's news. So we've had the red pillar, and he's spreading all this crap about a woman never being married and unwed and babies out of wedlock. And here we have it, that the same person he deems unvaluable actually does have value to him. I'll tell you why. The reason why she has value is he can talk all the crap he wants to talk about this woman and any woman he wants to, but at the end of the day, he wants to go home to her. He does not want to go home to an empty home. So that one is the proof of value there. He would not have one of us if we weren't at least something, he wouldn't want, at least he could go home to a dog or a cat. The same thing they say us, lasses are destined for because we don't have one of them. Right. He says he has a wife, right? And the truth of the matter is he tells these red pill men that we don't have value once we have kids and once we pass a certain age. And that seems to be the gist of his whole thing. And however, he's proved himself wrong. And the one young lady who went above and beyond and stayed calm and stayed logical like they always want us. They want us to be cold fish and explain things that they already have planned on a misunderstanding anyway. So it doesn't matter how you come across. It does not matter how stoic you are. It does not matter how unemotional you are. If they deem you wrong, they've deemed you wrong, regardless, because they've gotten together and they've told themselves that you are wrong because of whatever insecurity or whatever woman did not do what they thought they should do at the time, via the hoops. And this is why I like hoop earrings, because this is the only hoops I like to jump through. They're gold, And yeah. So shout out to the fall of the red pill. Maybe we'll go back to taking maybe Nexium because that gives a bit of heartburn. Or Beano because it gives gaslighting. All right. So when I woke up this morning, I smelled fresh milk, fresh milk. And lo and behold, I looked over and I seen Alex there because he always waits for me to doze off and then he sneaks back in. So I'm smelling fresh milk. Even though Alex is a good 7, 7 is a good completion number, but Alex is 7. So it led me to do some more research. And guess what I found out about 2 Texas natives? Wonderful, wonderful guys. They're young. One was 20, the other was 21. Gavin Weisenberg and Tanner Thomas. They might be worth a Google this morning. Yes, they are. All right. So one went into the fire academy in order to, I guess, get some skills so that he might be trained in certain operations so that he could do what he wanted to do. I haven't gotten to the gist of it yet. You have to see this. So that one guy, he goes to the fire academy. He flunks. He actually takes money. He spends money to go to Thailand and other places to get training. I got to tell you what this training is for. Give me a minute. And then the guy, Tanner Thomas, they're both Texas natives. This one joins the Air Force. He gets stationed in Germany, and guess what? I don't know what kind of ties this guy has. He has to have some kind of ties because they actually tried to keep his picture. But one of the tubers found his picture. He got stationed in D.C. How close to home is that, right? He comes from Germany, gets stationed in D.C. He's going into the Air Force to, yes, accrue skills just as well as Gavin Weisenberg. But this is not the gist of it. Let me tell you about this fresh milk story, because for them to have come up with this, you could tell that they were very young. They were very impressionable, and maybe they've gotten into those video games a bit much. Those video games could really feel real, and they really felt like powerful. They felt like Super Saiyans. So these 2 gads were going to go over to the great island of Gonave, a Haitian island of 87,000 population. And those guys planned to grape, pillage, and take over the village. They were going to unalive every man there, take the women hostage, use them as they seem fit, and take the children and make a certain kind of blue type of films. And I'm not talking about the good blue. I'm talking about the foreign, the ones that the blunt ones, the corn, if I might say. So these 2 barely adults, they're barely adults, so they're children. So at some point in their lives, something must have happened or traumatized, or someone give them the entitlement or the power to think that these 2 cards, the biggest part was in DC. The reason why he wanted to be in DC was because he needed boots on the ground. He was going to take our homeless from DC. Now, I don't know if you know, I've talked to some of the homeless, and some of those people are very, very smart. And for them to allow 2 wet behind the ears, not even real soldiers, come and impressionably push upon them, such a task would be amazing. And if such a thing could have been done, I would think it would be more experienced cats that will be able to pull this off. So yes, a 21 and 20-year-old Gavin Weisenberg and Tanner Thomas plan to take over the whole island of Gonave, a Haitian island, and basically take it over and make it their own private, with the lack of saying upstate, I don't know. But these guys planned on taking it very, very far. You have to be very careful with people who are always accruing skills, and they are being a bit weird and sketchy with it, because no one saw it. I'm like, what in the Team America? It seems like that movie, I know you have to Google it. I think it was puppeteers and claymation. It was a bit of things. It was a variety of things, but it was very informative. It was so ridiculous. It was disgusting. But you have to understand, this is the new culture in which we are in. It's so ridiculous. It is now bordering on repulsion discussion. All right, so that was the delusion of grandeur that they had, but this isn't just isolated to these two. This isn't an isolated event. We have a lot of younger ones coming up that have this entitlement. They have never been through any real strong structuring. They've never been through a situation in where they had to build from the ground up, because of course we've all tried to save them by giving them things and saving them from our struggle. But I think we have to take back some of those things, because we've raised some freaking monsters, and I'll attest to that. Right hand up, right hand up. All right, so in a lighter sort of form of things, well, not too light, let's see. I was watching the Cam Newton Sammy interview, and that was very interesting, where his mom ended up basically with a diagnosis of schizophrenia. It was like maybe over a 4-year period of time, and where she was getting gang stalked. And I've talked about that, and a lot of people have their opinions, and depending on the person, they're going to completely deny and dismiss it without even giving any of your thoughts any serious consideration. And I think in this situation, the gang stalking was basically the cause to the schizophrenia. And I'm just going to say it. How in the heck all of a sudden these wonderful, wonderful women, mainly women, are falling out from this, but there are some men that are subjective to it. Mind you, there has been a study where people have really been trying to study and see who's more emotional and who's not. Given those studies, people are using that information. Also, some of your family members are using some of your diagnosis or things that might have seemed off or might not be normal. They're using those things to support and actually push you to the wayside. And which some of these people are taking monetary bribes, or they're taking, I say, Ponzi scheme or stepladder bribes in order to get their own business. So it looks like somebody saying, oh, well, I'll jump on the bandwagon and say they're so and so if I can get away with this, or if I can get this position, or if I can get this amount, or if I can get this item. So a lot of people are being traded in for small incentives, be them subtle or not. And some people aren't even aware that they're being traded in. And some of the family members or friends or peers that these people are coming across, they don't even know that the information that they're giving is being used to fuel a whole nother war. It's a psychological war. Some call it spiritual war. Some call it psychological war. Either way, it is a war on the normalcy of having regular emotions. Because I guess somebody wants us to be code fish, and which once you become a code fish, it becomes very easy for you to navigate the systems of narcissistic development, if you understand what I'm saying. Because to become cold and detached from your heart means that you start to operate in a certain way in which you are not caring or about humankind. You don't care about left or the right. You care about only yourself and your own motivations, which could make you a bit robotical, which basically makes you a cold fish. Good morning, Pisces. All right, so let's keep going. So I want to send a shout out to Sami. I don't know what's going on, but I believe somebody does know what's going on, because there's too many people coming up with the same thing at the same time. And I'm sure everybody's not lying about getting gang stalked. I'm sure that this may come under some crazy name later on, but I'm sure that there are also mini cells in which are using this same exact model to do their own sorts of gang stalking. So be mindful, there are other groups that are just as exploitive as the Big Brother theme. Okay, so let's just not let those things go over our head. And a quick focus on women's safety and men's safety too, especially when people are trying to get away from people. It is quite often the people that are closest to us who share the information that puts us in danger. And I need for some of us to question why this information needs to be shared. Question who is asking for the information, and try to have a little foresight, or try to have a little discernment when you're giving this information, because this is crucial. Information could either save you or hurt you, harm you in such a way. And we know that we have a society that uses information for both. I mean, this is how we get medication. This is how we get these studies. This is how we get the algorithm. This is how we've gotten Facebook and all these other social media platforms. This is all through studies. So be mindful of the information and how you share it, okay? And how you take it on. Because some people, they already have a ruined inside. So just a little ammunition pushes them to unforeseeable things that you would never know. Just like this one guy in Macclescon or whatever is in Wisconsin. This man got into a domestic violence situation with one of his girlfriends, and which he ended up pistol whipping her, and it was visibly seen. It was horrible, disgusting. So, and he ended up incarcerated because of it, and because he didn't take accountability, he was sat in a cell, and this is where emotional intelligence come in. The fact that you already sat down in jail meant that you shouldn't want to spend more time. But there's a flip side to this. See, when you know a person does not care about returning to jail and they've done heinous things, you have to try to stay away from them. And this is why information is important, being withheld and being given, because you could be giving the information to the wrong person, or you could be holding the information from the wrong person. But the problem is, this man knew their whereabouts, and he was able to ask people about the whereabouts, and he was able to unalive two young women on Monday, this past Monday. And he had just gotten out of jail, and the reason why he was in jail was because of one of the women. And because he had not developed the skill to see that he should not do more, he actually blamed them for being in a situation and came out and unalived them. I don't know if he unalived them so that he could hurry up and go back in because he knows how to function better in jail, or he unalived them because he thought maybe he would be saving himself from having witnesses. But he planned to do it again. He planned to do 3 of them. So also, in this side note, when you break up with a person, it's the reason why you broke up. And this goes for men and women. Some people don't have emotional intelligence, and they become enraged and they don't think. So in their mind, hurting you, even though it takes a moment to hurt a person, they don't understand that the rest of their life have to be spent with that decision. And be careful when reconnecting with an ex, and know the history and know the tendencies. Remember that small twitch, that weird look, that thing that you guys argued over that wasn't worth the argument. Yeah, some people only want to get back to you to seek revenge, or get back, or hurt you worse than what they thought. Some people felt like they didn't scar you enough, so they have to come back and make a lasting impression on you, even though that lasting impression could be jail, or never seeing the sunlight again. Some people don't understand that they can't do that, and they take it upon themselves to administer punishment in judge and jury, and we have to be mindful of those things. And a lot of people are toxic. They like, I'm building a case, sis, so ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me because I'm big and bad. Yeah, but no one wants to find out. Let's try not to force people's hand. Let's try not to put ourselves in situations in which we kind of know, like, If I know you're spiraling out of control, it's not going to be good for me to be with you in unpublic places. It's not going to be good for me to not go and tell people where I went or who you are or hide the situation. A lot of us try to save face by hiding situations, but it actually in we don't mean to put ourselves in situations, but that's what happens. So let's just be more mindful. And this was definitely a message from Valley View Blue, your journalist at heart. I've always wanted to do the news too. I've got so many things I've wanted to do, and I've actually done all of them in my own time, in my own way, in my own style. And this is me reporting on things that really, really matter. Remember to take your vitamin D. You know, we need bones, and osteoporosis is definitely prevalent in our neighborhoods, but also as females, we take a lot of things. We take a lot of, pushes and pulls and grunts and things. So make sure you take your vitamin D, whether it be vitamin D1, 3, depending on what your doctor says, getting your units. And make sure you're doing well for yourself, drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, and yeah, we have to take care of one another and pass on information. Remember not to be dismissive. It's not always schizophrenia. It could be gang stalking, and you could be adding to the problem if you're being dismissive. And remember, you're going to want somebody to listen to you one day, and it may not be Wolf. You understand? So this is Valley View. Yeah, this has been a great segment, and signing off. So yeah, I wanted to get that over with. I needed to pass on that information, especially when I seen that Cam Newton interview with Sammy. Like, he does not look the same. And from what I gathered in the comments, since I don't really follow any celebrity hardcore like that, I didn't know who he was when I saw the beard and everything. I was like, "Who is that?" And and all I can think when I hear Sammy is, "I like the way you look at me. I like, then baby, I like it. Oh, I like it. Yeah, yeah." So I was like, "Is that Sammy?" And they said that he aged because of the things he had been through, and that'll happen, because I can tell you, when I lost my father, I think that was the worst thing for me. Everything about me changed for a couple of years. Even like my bravado had taken down. And what was crazy is people were still labeling me arrogant, and they had no idea I was not at my prime. I was going through something for a few years after I lost my father. So yeah, if you thought I was arrogant, boy, you were not. I will make your butt itch now, because even though I'm still not arrogant, I'm still humble. I've always been humble. It's just, I decided to soften my personality a bit, because I realized that people are cruel. So I softened my personality, and boy, did people try to run a Boston on me. I softened my personality, but that didn't mean I was stupid. I saw the hate. I saw the little sidebar. Even my little crazy little, I don't know. My cousin, she be like, she come off as a stud, but she always pregnant. I don't get it. But either way, even she called me. She was like, she even tried it. She was like, "Cousin, I like that color on your head." I'm like, "Bitch, I'm not trying to appeal to you. What the fuck did I need your opinion?" And this was crazy, because like, people don't understand. At that time, I was trying to give everybody space, because I knew what I lost in my father. So I was just trying to basically represent him for a couple of years, and give space to people. And what I found out was, I gave space to people, and they gave me disrespect. Like, disrespect. So yeah, now I don't give you no space. I don't give you no time. I don't give you nothing. I'm gonna give you what I give you, and you just gotta take it or leave. And that's just how I feel. Now you're gonna take it or leave. Like, even down to some extended family. Like, for some reason they felt like I was gonna cry. Honey, I spent almost 40 years on this earth without you. 40 more will not hurt me. A couple of cookouts let me know that y'all wasn't where I wanted to be at anyway. Because like, a person that love you, that really truly care for you, they gonna seek you out. They gonna make sure they ride for you. They not gonna let nothing happen to you, even when they ain't around you. So that right there was proof in the pudding that yeah, I don't need nobody around me, especially not nobody who will sit there and have a whole conversation about me with somebody and then never had a conversation with me. No, we not, boo boo, and then come laughing in my face like I'm supposed to know that you a snake. No, we not, boo boo. Kitty over there, kitty over there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I've been like chilling and I wrote some songs. I wrote two. I guess one was about 8 minutes because I did take some time with it, and I played it over and over again, and I like wrote another. It's cool, right? Yeah, but yeah, I wrote some good stuff this weekend. It's hot too. It's hot too. It's hot, 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 hot. Yeah, like I was doing more of the melancholy at first, and I was, because I do country. I love country music. I like country music. I like Vega funk. I like disco. I love it all. I'll write it all. But I decided I was going to write some bangers for my R&Bs, my hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Write some bangers, because why not? Why not? Okay. I got the ethereal deck out. Savage. Shout out to Rihanna, my Fenty girls. Shout out to you. Shout out to the Caribbean girls who like to change the world and flip them curls. Hello, hello, hello. Like I said, I'm here to stay. I don't know where I'm going to be at, but I'm going to be everywhere I can be because I've got things to share. I've got things to share before this little thing pass out. I am not past my prime. You haven't even seen prime. I've got energy. Alex, he's up, of course. Then we're going to get him ready for school, and then I'm going to get ready to do more. I might actually be on more today. I don't know. Depends on. Might surprise you with something. Good morning. It's Monday. Let's see what's in the cards. I called Pisces out this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Got the Page of Cups, fresh perspective. We got 9 of Wands. We've got mastery. Good morning. I woke up to the water signs. And so this is a water air. Water air. I'm going to say water air because Aquarius and Pisces, they just be together all the time. And the charts and the planets and alignments, they be close, they be right behind each other, but they don't always be together, but they be around, right? They be orbiting, right? So we've got the 9 of Wands and the Page of Cups. 9 of Wands, mastery after a long battle. You've got that battle bruises. Once you get that experience, you know how that stick, because you see that bop on their head. Sometimes you got to get that bop on the head. That bop, bop, bop. Sometimes you got to get that bop on the head. So then we've got the Page of Cups for a fresh perspective. Good morning. And happy birthday to the Sagittarius. It's a Sagittarius season. I hope all is well. Yeah. And then we've got, Ace of Pentacles. So we've got the man, the hand and the money in the hand. So a lot of this goes with mastering skills and taking a fresh perspective to find out where the money is and where all the money is going. I had a chance to listen to the DL Whisperer, and I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of stuff to what this young man is saying, and he's spreading a lot of good information. And we need to embrace this young man's information. Everything is in collaboration, and I always tell you that. We have to embrace information from all avenues because everything makes a whole. It's just like when you go to math class. You have to take all of the numbers, put them together, and then count all of the numbers so that you can get down to your mode. And once you get down to your mode, you put them lines on the side, and it's an absolute. We have to understand that a lot of the money in America and all over the world really is going towards these sidebar agendas, be it music, be it entertainment, political, all these things. And we have to realize there are certain tools that are being used to control the masses and control the weather. It's like building a windmill using the nations. We're trying to see where the currency flows. And I'm going to just leave that right there. I ain't going to go too deep. For the people who know and the people who like to talk like that, we'll talk on another branch because it's bigger than that. When the thing started for me, like I didn't know that I was being handled or closely watched or anything until my phone started glitching. Um, my pages started messing up. My mail started being redirected. I had no internet for 30 days in January. Like somebody took my whole entire internet out, my IP address. Like a lot of things was copied. A lot of things happened to me in San Diego. So it's very real out here. And it depends on who you know, who you came across, and who put you in what, because this is the thing. Some people, you weren't in nothing till somebody mentioned your name. You weren't in nothing till somebody put you in a room. Or you weren't in nothing till somebody took offense to something you said and decided to put you in whatever category that made these actions start happening. So I'm gonna need people to stop dismissing people when they start telling them serious things. When you start seeing a family member, sometimes it is mental health, sometimes it is overwhelmed, sometimes it is somebody put something in their drink. Because I remember I seen a young guy, he was 19. This was about 13, 14 years ago. A young guy who grew up in the neighborhood, and I seen him. He had bright eyes, and he was smart, but a lot of things were lacking in his life. So you already knew the older people in the neighborhood were taking advantage of the fact that he was young and he was impressionable. But it broke my heart when I was working in a certain maximum facility and I saw him come through the Sally Port. And I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking I know about his parents, but like I am because the way I am, I'm not dismissive to any factors. Sure, his parents, he didn't have the head start that he might have needed, but I've talked to this young man, how he ended up here. So I, waited until I got stationed where he was and I talked to him because I was there to, assist him for that day. I was on that area. So I took the opportunity to talk to this young man. And this young man, he went to the club with some of his friends. And this situation is becoming more normal than not. And our younger generation, they're in them because it's a lot of heartless individuals out here training other people to let go of their hearts very early in exchange for currency and physical, tangible things. And they don't know what they're giving up. So when this young kid told me that somebody put something in his drink and he ain't ever been the same since, I did not dismiss it. But the problem, he still needed to get treatment. He still needed to get evened out and things of that nature. At the time, I was still learning. I was still absorbing more information as far as developmental disabilities and psych wards, because I was in there when that guy from Morgan was in there. And was crazy is I sat one-on-one with him more than not. Knowing with this guy, I knew exactly what he was capable of. I knew exactly what he was in there for. And I was in there, I had to conversate with him. So when you have more conversations with the patients and the ones that actually have done these, you actually know a little bit more. You can't put everybody in the same category. And sometimes you have to deal with the person in the present and maybe think about the past. And vice versa. It's really a case-by-case situation. So when this young kid came in and he found himself in this predicament, it was like I knew who he was on the inside, but I also had to deal with who he was on the outside as what he was presenting. And I knew the more he took of the stuff that the treatment that was being given to him in this facility, I knew he was never going to return. And that's also careful, something to think about and consider. If you've ever had a family member get into that situation, try not to be so quick to be dismissive, because if you ever felt yourself in that situation, you would feel like it was a travesty if they dismissed you. That's just like an older relative going around and spreading things about the same young relatives. They're going to need to pick them up from the hospital or visit them in a nursing home. You've burnt bridges inadvertently, but you've burnt bridges because of your so-called authority and your so-called a license of authority. So if you haven't done anything for these individuals, or you haven't helped, or you haven't tried to, stand in the way or intercede, you've burned the bridge. And don't be surprised when you're in that nursing home or that hospital room or in that house or wherever you end up alone and ain't nobody fitting to visit you because you your mouth preceded you, or your so-called knowing it all preceded you. So be mindful of your reputation out here. Stay safe, stay woke, stay close. Yeah, so Pisces water, Pisces, that's water and air energy. We have to be very mindful because knowledge is also part of this resource, these pinnacles. We have people that call themselves gatekeeping, and the stupidest people gatekeep. I really do think it's stupid to gatekeep. It's smart to discern and give out information as it is needed. It is smart to not cast your pearls among swine, but it is stupid to hold universal information because you feel like it gives you a up. Because the same way you took that up, somebody might take that up from somebody you know, or you, or your kid. So be careful how you deal with people. Be careful. And if you walk away clean. Because some people are not right in the head. Hope that don't alarm you too bad. Some people ain't right in the head. So we've got the Emperor on the bottom of the deck. So somebody's going to take charge, whether it be you, whether it be me, somebody. There's somebody who's going to take charge. And that looks good. That looks good. But you also have to take charge of yourself. And this is giving big Aries energy. You have to take charge of yourself. Aries are fire sign. This is passion. You see how he's holding on to that rock and that sword? He'll crack you in your head if you think you're going to come at him stupid. Okay? We need to have more figures that are not movable. We have to have more people who want to stand on 10 toes no matter how many people try to come at them sideways. We need more, because as long as we have people that will pivot for this or pivot for that, you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And that's my word on it. So now we've got the Magician. And yes, we've got the power. We've got all of the things that we need on the inside. And I mean, everybody, this is not just one person's job. This is everybody's job. We got everything that we need on the inside to manifest peace, prosperity, and love on this earth. Of course, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better, because we have to see them, expose them, because right now they're being protected. Nobody wants to see the bad guy as the actual bad guy. We are having more victims painted as bad guys than we have the bad guys painted as bad guys. So it's like, let's just cut through the meat, cut through the fat grease. You know what I'm saying? However that saying go, I'm trying to think of it, but I can't. Not right now. But you know what I'm saying. Like, we gotta get back to some type of normalcy. I don't desire to keep doing this flip-flop thing. And then we've got the Hangman, which is stagnation or holding or observing. So yes, this is a great time for the ones who know to observe, the ones who think they know every darn thing, and let them go on and do what they got to do so they can get on out the way. All right, so it's Monday. Have a great Monday. Go forward and be great. I hope you enjoyed today's messages. Valley View Blue, Alexis Champagne signing off, and Empress New Aura. Yeah. But definitely have a great Monday. Remember, you are the master of your situation. You just have to master it. You just have to make sure that you don't let anybody come in and try to trick you out your spot. You know, I can't stand the fact that people will sit by the wayside and let all manner of things happen. And the minute they think anything cool, they like, you all right? Can I get $1? Can I get a ride? Can I have your ear? Can I get your shoulder? Nah, shawty. I couldn't get nothing from you. Nothing. And I ain't even need nothing. You just had to show up and everything would have been gravy. But now I ain't got to worry about it. Alex is having a ball in there. He in there blowing raspberries. Oh, let me see something. I wanted to see something. Let me see. Let me see. I'm still here. I just wanted to see something real quick. Something real quick. Let me see something. I needed to. No, that ain't what I. Yeah, I wanted to look at something. My bad, y'all. I had to see the real con. That's what I was looking at. My poem. It was glad I was able to do it. Now I ain't got to. The Lord gave his body for credit. No. Glad I was able to do it. Now I ain't got to. I held you with too much regard. I should have dropped you. The Lord gave his body for debit. You took the credit. Something. You should forget it. Ain't no reconciliation this nation. You left the real one. They said you was yellow like chicken. They said you was really a chicken yellow like Ocean. They said it hit you just like a bullet, but not a real gun. Yeah. But not a real gun. Yep, that is the real. That's the real con. That's the one that I did before. Yep. I think I don't remember, but I'll do it later on when I get a chance. I need to screenshot it and send it over to my other device. But yeah, I will be doing some poems today, and I did do I did a few songs. Yeah, I did do a few songs, and I want to perform them too. Yeah, but anyway, catching up to those things. Have a great morning. Don't forget to drink your water, take your vitamins. And don't forget what I be telling you. I'm trying to help us out. Have a good one. Remember, that was Pisces water energy. I'm sure everybody has it in their charts. It's very intuitive. We're just trying to get ourselves even killed. All right. Love you all. Bye-bye.